beautiful souls. Good morning. My name is Lexi, and you're probably wondering why there is a teddy bear sitting next to me right now. And I say, why not? Well, today I wanted to talk about inner child healing, which is something that has proven to be so beneficial to me on my journey back to my heart and back to wholeness, which is what I believe the whole journey of being human is about, is integrating all of the aspects of ourselves, our higher self with our current present self in this now moment, as well as our inner child self. And so this is my teddy bear from childhood, Mudu, and I have had him since I was about 2 years old, and I love him very much, and I keep him around as a constant reminder to me. I've found that kind of having little omens around my room that remind me of, who I was when I was a kid are very, very helpful in terms of helping me tap back into that space of awareness, which is a space of joy, a space of bliss, a space of eternal presence. Because as you remember, as a child, before we were 8 years old, we were functioning, our brains are functioning at a theta level. So we are just taking in information from our surroundings. We have not yet developed a fully formed ego, and therefore we were much more susceptible to, non-judgment of ourselves, of others, much more open-minded, much more open to being as silly and creative as possible without fearing the consequences or fearing what other people would say. And so when I look at Mudu, it just reminds me to channel that in my daily life, because as you know, once you start growing past, say, that age of 7, our brains then are going into an alpha state, and so we are forming a healthy adult ego. There's nothing wrong with the ego here. We know in the spiritual community a lot of times it's talked down upon, but actually having a healthy functioning ego is what you need to survive in this society. I mean, unless you're planning on going to a monastery and, dedicating your life to full meditation and renouncing the physical world, which is totally fine, but I don't really think that's in the cards for all of us. And so, but once we turn around 8 years old and we start developing that healthy ego, we start losing that innocent inner child playful nature. And that is something that I have seen in countless people, adults in my life. They start living with this mentality that they're getting older, the clock is ticking, and their mind starts telling them all of these things, and then it starts influencing their poor health, and they stop having fun. And, I'm sure you guys have heard the quote, laughter is the best medicine. We're never supposed to stop having fun. Laughter is actually the best thing you can do for your immune system. So yeah, I keep Mudu around and other little trinkets. Like I have this mermaid here to just remind me every day when I wake up, okay, this is who you always were, before the world told you who to be. And I make sure to make a conscious effort every single day to check in with my inner child, because, all of the different aspects of us, we're multidimensional. And so our higher self, our wiser self, is coming from a much different platform than, say, our inner child. Our inner child needs recognition, needs comforting, needs reassurance in this harsh and scary world sometimes. And so I make sure to make it just at least once a day, look in the mirror and ask myself, how is little Lexi doing today? And, really looking into your own eyes can be one of the most powerful healing tools that you can do. And, I just think that it's something to be acknowledged and to be aware of. And, when we connect with our inner child, we must be honest with her. And, whatever has been going on throughout the day, whether or not we know it, that little part of us can be very, very impacted by, shame from others, or, just any of the trials and tribulations of the adult world. And so another powerful tool I've found is to just hug myself. It's it's one thing to get a hug and a support from an outside source, but I have found personally that my inner child connects much more when she knows that she's fully safe to be herself. And sometimes that's only in the company of your own self, which is totally fine. And it also is really great to know that you can nurture yourself when other people are not available. So yeah, I just give myself a hug and I really hold myself for a second and breathe. Even that for a moment, if you go in the bathroom and you're at some like, intimidating kind of like work event or something and you're feeling, a little bit maybe unprepared or whatever it may be, just like going into the bathroom, giving yourself a hug, telling your inner child, because the inner child does get very, frightened by new circumstances, like, you got this, you got this. It can be extremely powerful. So I hope that this helped you, and I'm so glad to connect with you guys more. Have a great day.